I wanted to share with you how I made this super cute wall art using alcohol ink, and I'll show you the process, and if you need more in detail of how alcohol ink works, stay tuned for upcoming videos. I started with this canvas, wall canvas, that I got on clearance for $2.50. I always scope out the clearance looking for a good deal, and I went ahead and taped it off, and then I just covered the surface with this Kills primer. This covers the art that was on it, and it also allows the alcohol ink to float on the top. And then I'm going to measure it to know what size I'm working with. I'm going to go into Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to choose a square, and I'm going to set it to the dimensions of my piece, and you want to unlock that so that it will give you a rectangle. And this is really just the area. This represents the template that I'm working with, and I'm going to go in and open my text, and I chose the font Postino. I think it comes with Windows, but you can download it on dafont.com, and it's free. And I'm just going to type up the word I want. I chose love because it's almost Valentine's Day, and if you unlock that, you can make it whatever size you want. And I just figured out the size I want. I centered it into the rectangle, and then I'm just going to slice it, and I'm working with just the rectangle with the word love sliced out. And I'm going to cut this on Cricut. I'm using Oracal 651. I've worked with all of the different vinyls, and this is the best as far as no bleeding coming through with the inks. So their stencil vinyl doesn't work very well for me on this, and the removable vinyl doesn't work great. So this is the one I use, and I'm just saving these letters because I hate to waste things. I don't know what I'll use them on. And the transfer tape is just basic transfer tape. I can link it below. It's all from Amazon. And I'm just finding the center point here, and I'm marking it at the top and bottom. And then before I take the vinyl off, I'm folding it and just kind of creasing it at the top and bottom center point so that I know where to line it up. It does line up pretty good because it's basically the same size as the canvas, but it's a little off, so I just wanted to make sure it was centered. And then you lay it down as smoothly as possible. If it bubbles, it's not a huge deal. You don't want to have bubbles around the edge of the letters like I do at the bottom of the O and the E, but we'll work with that. That's fine. This honestly is the hardest part. You just have to keep pushing it down and holding it down. It doesn't want to. The issue here is it doesn't adhere to the canvas as well as it does to the transfer tape. So the transfer tape doesn't want to let go. But you see, when she got started, it comes off okay. And then I went down and smoothed everything all around, and I hit it with the heat gun to kind of shrink it up and help with any of those bubbles right around the edges of the letters. But then our next line of defense is I'm going to apply more Kills over the top of this. Well, first I'm going to tape that off. But I'm going to take the Kills, and I'm going to apply it right over these letters, and anywhere there's a bubble on the edge, I push it into that. So essentially, the Kills is filling in any gaps between the canvas and the vinyl so that when I go in and put the ink in, there's no place for the ink to get in there. So here I am getting started. You'll see this drop bottle. This is just isopropyl alcohol. It's 91%. And I just have it in this little bottle. And then here I'm just pointing out my hands are filthy, but that's fine. And this gold that I'm using is Pinata Brass. I'll link that. That's from Amazon. And then all of my inks are Tim Holtz Ranger inks. I can link those on Amazon as well below. And I'm going to start, I have several colors here that I'm working with that are just off camera, but I'm going to go from red into pink into purple. So I have them all lined up, and I'm going to just kind of do it in columns. And I want the columns to kind of bleed into each other and just kind of have like an ombre effect where it goes from one to another. So I dropped a line of alcohol, and then I dropped several dots of the ink, and then 2 or 3 dots of the pinata brass. And with the silicone tool thing, it's just a little point. I'm just going to blend them together and try and cover all the space. And then I'm taking this heat gun, and I'm just going to move it around. And here I decided it wasn't dark enough, so I'm dropping another drop in. And you just kind of want to move them on the low setting with the heat gun. And I never stay in one spot too much. I go from one side to the next, and I just kind of push them around. I don't want to like push them across the thing. I just want to move them in the space or in the alcohol that's there. And what happens is, as the alcohol evaporates, the alcohol ink will just kind of lay there and stay there as the alcohol evaporates. And then it kind of leaves these cool vein marks with the gold, and it's just a really pretty effect. So I'm going to speed it up here a little bit, and as I work my way across this canvas, I'm going, this one's a little more red, and you see I'm working from side to side and just pushing the ink back and forth. And every time it goes from one direction to the other, it kind of leaves a little line or vein or whatever. And there, I didn't like how dark it was, so I added a drop of alcohol and ink, and then worked it around by itself. I am moving into the pink now, and make sure you blend the 2 colors together better than I did here. Pretty sure I go back and fix that, but I did a close-up of this, me working with this little pool of pink, and you see how I'm going from one side to the other, and I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a wait in between when I go from one side to next, to just let it move and settle, and then I blow it, and then I let it move and settle. And it's just such a cool process to watch. It's very relaxing to do this. And you want to make sure you work with a puddle until it's dry. If you leave it, it'll kind of just turn into mush, and if you leave it to dry on its own. And here I go back and fix the border. So I'm working into a more pinky purple, and then into a magenta. So here's a super cool thing. I didn't like how this purple transitioned. So I went in with alcohol right on top of the purple that was there, and a different purple, and it just blended together and made a better look. So here it is all finished. I'm going to remove the vinyl and the tape. And this one came out really well. There were like one teeny tiny spot that bled. Other than that, it came out with super crisp lines, and everything looked great. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Removing the vinyl is just kind of you gotta be careful not to scratch up any of the ink that's on the canvas, because this is touch proof. It's not scratch proof though. You definitely need to seal it with Camara varnish and then Kamara UV spray before you do anything with this. And here's a close-up so you can see all the gold veins in there. There you go. Feel free to like and follow if you want more. I'm in my alcohol ink era, so there will definitely be more of this coming soon. Bye.